This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 160 of Horse Tip Daily. A different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. This tip is sponsored by the Horse Radio Network. Enjoy today's tip. I am Glenn the Geek from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're back with Horse Tip Daily. Well, today we have back with us Heidi Nyland. Heidi is the author and the journalist and the producer and the photographer and the avid trail rider. She does it all. She's also the right-hand person to Julie Goodnight and helps her out with the show Horse Master with Julie Goodnight. And Heidi also is a writer, and she writes for publications like Western Horseman, Equestrian Retailer, The Trail Rider, and Equine Veterinary Management. She's involved with all of those, and she's just a fun person, and she stops by occasionally to give us tips on trail riding, and she's done a number of them for us. You can go back to horsetipdaily.com, and on the left-hand side under the Experts drop-down menu, pick Heidi Nyland, and you'll find all of her tips. You can listen to them all right in a row. But in the meantime, let's say hi to Heidi. Well, hi, Heidi, and welcome back to Horse Tip Daily.
Thanks, Glenn.
It's always fun to have you back, and it's always fun to get caught up on what you and Julie Goodnight are up to, and you're always traveling all over the country checking things out.
Definitely. Yes, I produce her TV show and travel with her quite a bit to shoot episodes in different areas of the country and go on all kinds of trail rides all over the place.
Help people out. That's what you do. And she does a great job of that, and her show has become very popular. It's interesting. We get every time we have we mention Julie on the show, we get emails. So,
well, good.
Yeah, so
that's good to hear.
Yeah, and you know what? She's I think gotten an international thing going now too. So that's kind of neat too. How the horse world is getting smaller with new technology every day.
Yep, her TV show is on RFT TV on Wednesdays, and then it's also on the rural international branch that RFT has, Rural TV, and that airs. They're adding new countries all the time, so it's more and more international, and we have lots of clips and goodies up on her website too that we get hits. I think the last count was over 150 different countries last year had visited her website, so
wow.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
And you know what? I live in Lexington, Kentucky, horse capital of the world, right? We don't get RFD on our cable, and we don't get the other one either. There you go.
The other one. Well, there's always DirecTV and Dish. And
I know. That's what I'd have to do to get it here.
Switch. Yep.
I'm going to have to because we just don't get it here. And then we're in Lexington.
Yes.
So, Heidi,
well, they're adding it.
Go ahead.
I said they're starting to add it in. A lot of different cable companies have access to it, and it's really right now coming down to people in different locales really asking for it because Time Warner, Comcast, like nationally, all have contracts that they can add it. So it's coming just slowly. Well,
good. I hope it does.
Good.
Good. So we're talking about trail riding. We always discuss trail riding with you because that is your passion, and you actually write about it as a journalist too. And go ahead.
I have a column in the Trail Rider magazine called Saddlebag Savvy, and that's where this tip came from that we're going to talk a little bit more about today.
Is that trailrider.com? Is that what it is?
It's actually, their website is myhorse.com, and that covers the other magazines that publisher has too. But yeah, there's lots of tips from Julie up there and from me, and yeah, it's a lot of good resources.
Cool. So I hear you have a practical one for us today. The last one, by the way, if people didn't hear all of Heidi's tips, you can go back to the website at horsetipdaily.com, and you can listen to all her past tips, and the last one was hilarious. It just cracked me up. So go back and search under the Experts tab for Heidi Nyland, and you'll find all her tips listed there, and you can go back and listen to the last one. It's worth it.
Okay. Well, this one's a little bit more serious.
Okay.
And involves some, technology and how you can have technology helping you out when you're out on the trail and every day too. But almost everybody has a cell phone, and it would be just a common no-brainer tip to take your cell phone with you on a trail ride. But this one kind of takes it to the next degree of how you can make sure that you and your horse stay safe on the trail. So on everyone's cell phone, if you have a new phone, you'll actually find that the companies are programming this in for you. The ICE, have you seen that on your cell phone?
I'm looking for it now. I don't. ICE?
ICE on my new phone, it was actually programmed in there for me, and when I first programmed the phone, it actually asked me to go ahead and program in that information. It's called ICE, but it stands for in case of emergency, and a lot of the rescue workers are trained now to actually look for your ICE information for you. If you have a health issue or something and your cell phone is with you, they will look under ICE in your cell phone. So if the phone hasn't programmed that in for you, it's good to actually just add a contact that is ICE so they know to look for that. So it's important for yourself to put in who is your emergency contact, whether that's your best friend or your husband, whoever is local and would probably need to know if you were having an emergency, if you had some kind of health issue, to put that under ICE. And so you can put, ICE 1, ICE 2, ICE 3, so that there are a couple of different options there too.
Boy, I did not know that at all.
Yeah. So
my BlackBerry's only like 3 months old. There was no ICE in here.
Huh. And I wonder if BlackBerries might be a little bit different because it's set up to, link with your computer's contacts. So maybe it's not set up like a kind of typical cell phone would be, or they wouldn't think to have
that. I'm going to do that. I didn't even know anything about that. I think that's a fantastic tip for anybody. Yeah. It doesn't matter if you're riding.
Exactly. And that, that comes from kind of following the other outdoor magazines and things like that they're making sure that people should know about. Because even if you're in an emergency, if your cell phone's not working in that area, it's still a way for people to know who should be contacted for you. Even if you can't dial out, it's information that can be with you. But then the next step of that is the tip that I had in the Trail Rider magazine is to add an ICE horse. So if you are there and if something, God forbid, happens and you and your horse are injured, or if your horse is injured or your horse shows up without you, that there is some way that people can know, well, what do we do with this, especially if emergency contacts workers, aren't familiar with horses. So
right.
In my phone, you can actually put in, so who's your local, your horse connection? Maybe it's the barn manager at your stable, maybe your riding buddy that hopefully would have been with you, or you might have been separated from. Put your veterinarian's telephone number in there. If they're, find out what the largest, if your equine vet doesn't have an emergency service, what is the closest 24/7 large animal veterinary hospital that's near you, and go ahead and put that in too. And then if there's notes or if there's like a email address line, I a lot of times will just kind of put in further notes because I don't really want to put, an email contact in there, but you can use that next line and kind of say, this is the vet, or kind of trick your phone and put in the information that would be good to have there in case anything happened.
That is just a fantastic tip. I didn't know anything about that, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to make sure that we mention that on all the shows. This doesn't matter whether you ride horses or not. You should have the ICE information in there. I didn't know that either. I always wondered, if you were in an accident and, how did they find who to call? Do they just start calling down the contacts in your phone? If you're in an accident and you're unconscious and the hospital's trying to call somebody.
Right.
That's a darn good. I didn't know. Huh.
Mm-hmm. One time it wasn't even a huge accident, but I lost my phone. It was back when I was in grad school, and there was a foot of snow, and my phone fell out of my backpack.
Oops.
And somebody, I don't know who he was, but he picked up my phone, found it, and called Dad. So I think that people, you're smart enough to kind of look through, or who did you talk to last, or something
right.
like that. But having something uniform that they know to look under, I think, is just a really good idea, so that you can find out who's the closest. And because a lot of times your mom or dad or someone else they might think to call isn't really the closest, or would just freak out, if they are far away and can't do anything about it.
Well, all right. So that tip is basically ice your phone.
Ice your phone.
All right. That's the title of this one, by the way. I just thought that we're going to make sure that's the title. Ice your phone. That'll get people looking. Well, that's great, Heidi. Where can people find out more about you?
My website is wholepicture.org, and that has a lot of my photography and links to other articles that I've written. And then also on juliegoodnight.com, I produce her TV show, and there's tons more tips from her up on that site.
Yeah, she has a great site over there. You guys do a great job with that. All right, very good. Well, thank you, Heidi, and we'll have you back again soon.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Well, thank you to Heidi for that. I never did know about that, but after I looked it up on the internet, it makes sense that it stands for in case of emergency, and they do recommend many of the emergency organizations around the country do recommend that you ice your phone. So I went in there just a couple minutes ago and put in my emergency contact information under ice. So you can do that as well. And do it right now so you don't forget. Well, we'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and another horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.